So now we're going to start the Empire Biscuits with the other option. So what you've got is the ingredients here, and the first step is to rub the margarine into the dry ingredients until it forms a ball of dough. Now, obviously I've already washed my hands, got my hair up, got the apron on, I've wiped the side down, and I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees. Okay, so I've got my margarine in here, and then I have got plain flour in here. We go with the icing sugar and then the corn flour. Okay, so these are the ingredients that go in for these Empire biscuits, so make sure they're in there. That, and then we're rubbing in. Now we've all done rubbing in, so what we're doing is just using our fingertips, remember, so just using the fingertips, and you lift the hands. Now what we're looking for is it forming a ball of dough. So I'm going to rub it in and then bring it together into a dough. So just with the fingertips, rubbing in. So I've rubbed in, so what I'm going to do now is bring it together into a dough. So just bringing this together. So use the side of the bowl to help with this. So I'm just kneading it into the side of the bowl just to get the dough to come together. And what you'll have, a bit of dough like this. What I'm going to do now is wash my hands and then wipe the table down again just to make 100% sure that everything is clean before I turn the dough out, cleaned and hands cleaned again. I've got a flour dredger now at home, you might not have one, so you can just sprinkle with a spoon of flour over the work surface here. So just a wee bit, and then what I'm going to do is do it on the rolling pin as well. Just cover that there, and then I've got my dough, just going to place in the middle of my table. And then we're going to roll out. Now remember, when we're rolling, roll even pressure on the dough and then turn it. Okay, remember we're not flipping it, you just turn it so that we're getting even pressure on the dough and get a nice even thickness across the biscuits. Okay, and so that it doesn't stick on the side of the table. Okay, so what you're doing is you're just going to roll it. It's quite a delicate dough. Remember, it's kept together by that fat. Some of you will have noticed it's quite like a shortbread dough. Okay, and then we're going to sandwich these biscuits together with some jam and with a nice glace icing on the top. So what you want is about 4 millimeters. So you could, if you wanted to be so specific, you could of course get a ruler out, and then what you want is a cutter. So we've got our dough, and then you want a cutter. It's about enough to make 12 biscuits. So what I'm going to do is use this cutter here, and I'm going to make nice fluted edges on my biscuits. Okay, on a floured baking sheet. Okay, so I've just got the greaseproof on my baking tray with a little bit of flour on it just to help it stop sticking. Right, so now I've got all my biscuits on the trays. In the end I needed 2 trays because you need to leave a wee bit of space between them. So I've got 12 biscuits with the 2 trays. Don't forget oven gloves when you're popping them in the oven. So what I've got is just a pot stand here on the side, because obviously my trays are still hot from the oven. Just make sure that you don't burn the side. The side is heat proof wherever you're making these. Okay, so I've washed my fish slice from earlier, and I'm just going to gently pick the biscuits up off the tray I make now is the glace icing. So what I've got is my icing sugar here, and then all I need is water into this. So what we're going to do is, some of you will remember that we've made the glace icing when we've made things like the Halloween biscuits. So just going to add enough water to thicken up the mixture. So very gradually, got my little teaspoon, just going to add the water to that and start mixing. Remember, do not just put your pot of icing sugar straight under the tap. Do it a spoonful at a time, because it can quickly just change. See, very quickly, that's 2 spoons. What I would say is we want another about half a spoon just to make it to the texture we want to go on top of the biscuits. Okay, so this is all happening whilst the biscuits are in the oven. Remember, I've cleaned everything down. You can also start your washing up whilst everything else, once you've made this icing, and then we're just going to quickly prepare the jam. Right, so I'm just going to start to assemble the Empire biscuits now. So I've got a plate ready to pop them on. So I've got 2 biscuits that are about the same size here. Just going to get a spoonful of jam. So remember, we have made this spreadable. So I'm going to spread it around the base of my biscuit here, just leaving a bit of space at the edges, because my biscuits have cooled fully now. Then I'm going to place the other biscuit on the top, just like that. Okay, and pop it on my plate. It's got a little sandwich biscuit. Right, and then I've got my glace icing, about half a spoonful I'm going to pop on the top, and then just move it round, get an even coverage on the top, just like that. Just use the bottom of the spoon to make sure it's even on the top of your biscuit. And then got half cherries, half glace cherries for that bit of a treat, and pop them on the top. And then there you have it, you've got your Empire biscuit.